Today is Halloween, and I had one of my recent subscriptions who is an affiliate of mine on a project. Her name is Summer Kid. Um, make a video earlier today where she basically said it was being made because she ran out of time to make, I think it was a speed painting. And it got me to thinking, I had a lot of time today to make something relating to Halloween, but I wanted to wait until it was dark and the sun had just completely disappeared for me to start my um, video. And really, this is more in line with just my problems with this holiday. And, let me just state these outright things I like about it. I like the idea of dressing up. Um, as something that is pre-established, as something that is, has been created beforehand, either because you really like it or you think it'll scare people, whatever purpose, just the idea of using someone else's creation and, trying to portray it for a night. I think that's very um, original in the context of other holidays, and that's another thing I like about it. It's originality. There's no other holiday where you just dress up as basically whatever you want. Um, there's no other, at least American holiday for all I know. Um, but with that being said, it befuddles me that I'm supposed to get. I mean, you have some people who are so entitled about certain things. I was in class today, and the instructor starts talking about the general age limit for when people should stop, you know, cele- going out and dressing up and showing up at your house. And one of the students who must have been in their mid 20s um, goes and, almost tries to argue it back and forth with the teacher. It wasn't a confrontational type scenario in any way. But the idea that they would be surprised or otherwise enraged over a common feeling among adults that when you get to, age such and such, it's game over with that costume thing as far as, going to people's house. You can still dress up, but, which by the way, that's been something I put an end to long ago back in, I think it was sixth grade. I was about, yeah, it was definitely sixth grade was the first school year I didn't do it. Um, but the age I was at that time was I think 12, and it was over. I was done. I completely just finished it. Um, and if people want to continue doing it, that's fine for with them. But my problem comes when there are adults who, they've talked about these clown sightings, which I've never, some people talk about they hate clowns and they're scared of clowns. I've never had an issue with them, just in general. As a matter of fact, I've never really seen that many of them in person. I will say those clown videos are kind of amusing, so that's to be taken at face value. But my problem with them comes from the fact that you have a lot of these clown sightings, you have these violent acts, and I was really worried about tonight. Hearing about some clown, someone dressed as a clown tried doing something, and you know, it's gonna further people's already becoming more and more negative opinions of clowns in general. And clown lives matter, so we have to continue to represent them in a faithful and um, you know positive manner. This discrimination can't be tolerated. Uh, I almost heard that someone was trying to burn clown shoes because they're large. Well, I wear a size 13 in shoes, and you know, that's almost like saying you're gonna burn my shoes. I mean, you wouldn't burn this, would you? So, yeah. In all seriousness, it was a big concern of mine that you would see some type of, I guess, act of, you call it a prank. I call it just vigilante work, where people will go and drive up to someone and take the candy or threaten them or do something else. And that doesn't happen all the time, but most of the time. But there's always I feel an incident or this night allows that occurrence to happen because believe it or not, you have some parents who let their little kids go out with other little kids and go, oh, they'll be safe because there's so many of them. And then somebody shows up and says, hey, give me that candy. Yeah, I'm not giving you my candy. Give me that candy. And then they give that candy or they get beat up and then they get their candy taken. Um, so that was another thing to be worried about in the grand scheme of you know things tonight. And I know that's not what I should be thinking about on such a positive night, but really I just can't get excited for this holiday anymore. I mean, I don't dress up. Nobody around me dresses up. It's just let's all go to a certain house and talk, and then leave, and then uh, continue on with our day. I mean, that's literally all it is now, because nobody takes the time to go and even seek out an activity where they're just I'm sorry, I'm reacting to this game right now. Not a sports game, a video game. Just sitting here in my lap. So again, they have this idea that um, with these talking about these parents, oh, well, if the kids are all together, they'll be fine, and that's irresponsible on their part. Um, but that's what unnerves me about these nights, and that's why this holiday I feel is to an extent dangerous if you don't know what you're doing or if you don't take the proper safety precautions. It's like me leaving my back door open on Christmas because I think Santa might come in. Like, it's stupid. So yeah, that's just my opinion. I think it's a good holiday. I like it. It's got its set of problems, but all in all, it's an occurrence that can be rather joyous in a different manner from Christmas, but still positive. So thank you for watching and have a good night.